What's going on, guys? Vizais here, and into today's video we're going to learn the most insane AD carry tips and tricks. So if you know more than 5 rules, you are extremely knowledgeable. I bet you don't know more than 5 or even 6 rules of these insane tips and tricks. If you're the first time here, my name is Vizais, AD carry main. If you want to learn AD carry and you want to get better, you have to be subscribed to the channel, because on this channel I'm going to post a lot of AD carry content. So go ahead and subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell to not miss out any bit of content from this channel. The first thing that I'm going to show you is that you can actually use the E of the Sivir for the Tristana passive. Yeah, I actually mean it. So when a minion is about to die like this, all what you have to do is you have to walk up and you have to look to spell shield. Boop. And of course you're gonna get HP like this. Did you know that? Most of the people know that on Lucian you can E a lot over a lot of the walls that are inside of the game, and it's quite easy to actually do that, right? And did you actually know that you can actually use your E over this particular wall? There are many tricks that players don't even notice. So for example, on Lucian you have a long dash, which can help you reposition yourself and gain distance, but there is also a short dash. Just by using your cursor really close to the champion, you can do that. So if, for example, there is another 2 enemies right here, what I have to do is that you have to attack a target and then go for the long dash and try to kite away from the enemies. But let's say you're actually doing better on Nashor and you want to do it really fast. What you do is you want to actually do the short dash like this, right? Really fast and fancy. And of course on the Q as well, there are a lot of tricks. So for example, an emerald player will simply just look to Q, but the challenger player will try to increase the DPH by using the animation cancel, auto attack, and then Q instantly, and you can do it really well. Auto attack, Q instantly, and then of course if you're faker, you can also do the short dash as well. So you do auto attack, Q, auto, boom, animation cancel, short dash, boom, shakalaka. Varus ulti is actually a lot larger range than you think. This is the range, nope. This is the range, nope. This is the range, nope. This is the range, not really. Even more, this is the range, more. If this is the range, okay, this is the max range. And then guess what? It's actually gonna hit again and again and again. And this is like the full max range. So it has huge range. And imagine you can actually use your ulti flash. So instead of using the flash first and then ulti, which is really predictable, you just ulti flash and they can't really react. And you can do it from Africa. Really, you can stay in Africa and then you try to ulti and then flash, so you can actually increase that distance. You can really come from Fog of War, and then when you flash ultimate, you try to use the max range ulti and then potentially WQ, GG, BG. And of course, this trick you can actually use the flash with the W of the Lucian as well, with the ultimate of the Lucian as well. And if you are really good on Lucian and you want to use the full combo with the animation cancel, with the flash, you basically want to like flash W, auto attack, cancel animation, auto Q, and then you E, and then you R, and then it's boom shakalaka, easy. Of course, you can use this trick also on the Sivir, and you can Q and then immediately flash, so you can extend the range. And of course, you can also do it on Ezra with a Q flash, or even again with a double flash, and then you just Q or a double flash. Let's say there is a big target, like super far distance, you W. And let's say you don't have range, you double flash, EQ, and immediately kill him, shakalaka. You can also do the ulti and then flash, but ulti and then flash is really weird. Like when you're gonna flash, as you can see, the ulti will come from the same spot that you actually flash from, but your champion is gonna teleport to another place. So if you just wanna keep kiting here, that's basically how you do it. In addition to that, there is this aimbot trick that you can always use your Q and hit it without actually aiming. So instead of doing the E and then moving your cursor to the target and then Q, what you can do, you can, as long as you are in your E range, you can EQ at the same spot. As you can see, I'm not moving my cursor, right? Look at this. I'm literally, look, you guys can see my hand, EQ. I'm not moving my hand, right? So you literally E in place and then a Q right away. So if you, if you do this, it will actually, it will actually go on the target that you want. As long as you are in the E range, it will do that, right? So please make sure to cut the ones that it doesn't work, okay? You can also put those ones LED because these are like more max distance. And of course, you probably know the trick with the Vayne E and condemn, right? Condemn and then flash, right? So many people would, if I want to, let's say, push him into the wall, I'll simply do flash E if I really want to do that, or let's say the good one, flash E. But the reality, this is a trick that many people actually know. So you want to E first, and then you want to flash in the direction where you think that if your E comes from, the person is going to be stunned. So if I E first and then I flash here, the guy is going to go into the inhibitor. So what I have to do is E flash, right? So this is basically what I have to do. No one will expect it. You can do some fancy stuff, like let's say you are in this position, you tumble into him, auto attack, and then you E flash. Like it's easy peasy. You can surprise your opponents very, very hard with this trick.
You can say that, oh, but I heard less. I'm not saying in Challenger, I'm not saying in Grandmaster, and I'm not saying in LCS, ADC, or any Pro League where people know what they're doing. If you play in a solo queue environment and you're below Grandmaster, so you watch this skill cap, Challenger, tips and tricks, guess what? Most of the rules won't apply for you players, and this is why I designed a coaching program that is ready for you, so that if you feel like you're in Emerald or in Gold and you feel stuck, the coaching is specialized and personalized for you, for your mistakes. But if you truly want to improve and you want to get better, try out coaching, because the coaching can be just for you.
Did you know that the spell shield doesn't block the Morgana root and stun if you use it afterwards, but it can actually block it if you buffer it, if you use your E right before the Morgana is actually ulting, like this? So look at this. So the Deceiver has the spell shield right before the Morgana is actually using the spell, right? And it works the same way against Karma as well. So if you try to use your E right before the Karma W is gonna hit, it will work. But if the Karma will hit the W first on you and you'll try to spell shield the root, it won't actually work. So you have to use your E right before this ability, like this, right before the root actually is on top of you. Be careful, because there are a lot of champions in the game where the flash buffer first and then the ability doesn't work. Like for example, the E flash doesn't work on Kog'Maw, as you can see, but if you're using the Q flash, it actually is the same. It doesn't work, right? So you gotta like try it and practice a little before you use it in the game, but this trick is super effective if you're using it wisely. A very effective trick is just to use one ability from Fog of War and the enemy won't be able to react. So if I, for example, right here, charge the Q and try to hit it on him, unless the brush is worded, of course, it's super unlikely for him to actually dodge. You can use abilities like Varus ulti, Varus Q, Ashe ulti, Ezreal ulti, just like this. Of course, what you can also do if the enemy is in the laney phase and you know that the brushes are worded, you can actually go and step out of Fog of War. So this is, for example, Fog of War. The minions don't actually see me, so and I can just throw my Q super max range. So right now, the range of the minions is the following, as I'm showing you right now. So these minions are gonna give him vision, so he has this vision. So if I'm actually standing right here, he actually doesn't see me. So if I go for an angle like this, it's very hard for him to see the super max range of the Varus Q. And this can be very effective if you play Ashe ultimate and Ezreal ultimate or anything else. The trick will look exactly like this. I'm playing Ezreal against Kalista. It's a normal laney phase, and what I do is boop, I go into the brush, and right here I actually try to throw the ultimate. She has absolutely no idea that I'm actually throwing the ulti on her, and then boom shakalaka, easy peasy, easy hit. Did you know that on Kai'Sa you can actually ulti over the wall? So for example, here if I want to go over the wall, boop, I auto attack this target, I go over the wall. In this one, I auto attack target, boop, I go over the wall. Easy peasy. Inside of the game, you want to be as less predictable as possible. Do you see what this Lulu does? So what she does is that she is acting like she pushed the wave right here, as we can see. Vayne is recalling, and we actually don't know if they have a ward. Of course, we can see the body language of the Lulu is simply walking towards me here, because she's thinking, oh, you know, I want to escort this wave. This is what we're thinking about Lulu and about her body language. But in reality, that even though she's walking towards me, she's very smart. This is a master tier MMR on my account, SoloQ. So we can see that even though she walked towards me, boop, she immediately went on the Vayne anyways. Why? It's because she mind gamed it. She actually walked towards one target and immediately turned to the other, because Vayne, in no world she will expect a Lulu that walks up towards Milio to immediately go on the target right here. Super smart by Lulu, and we actually end up getting to V3 right here. Of course, this trick of you acting like you go on one target and you go on the other is working on really well on engaged champions, but also AD carries that have CC. So right now, look at what I'm doing right now. I'm just walking towards the Seraphim, and boom shakalaka, I'm actually trying to hit the hook on to the Janna. She didn't really expect it, and the reason why she didn't really expect it is because I'm simply walking to the Seraphim. So what guy crazy in the head would actually go for the hook onto the Janna right here? I actually end up missing because the hitbox was a bit weird, but the concept is good. If I hit the hook, it's GG, BG fight. A really good trick that you can actually do is that you can engage as an AD carry. Really, you can actually do that. So let's take a look at the next clip right here and let's see how Doublelift, this AD carry, you probably have heard of him, does it. So as we can see, he's going to play pretty forward this fight. So take a look at this. So his perfect positioning is really, he's playing Ashe. He actually gets Nautilus ulted, and we can see that he's actually not really scared. Look at him. He's not really positioning himself super scared. Like, look, he's just walking up. And remember, the positioning that you have should be based on the threats, enemy threats abilities. So this is Fizz ultimate, Nautilus ultimate. It's really a big deal. So he shouldn't be positioning here. But what he knows is that his team, you know, right now, they might not be able to engage. So what Doublelift does is like, hey, I have my flash. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna bait everyone to just go on me, and once I do it, I'm just gonna flash out. If I do that, I know that if Nautilus hooks me and then I immediately flash out, there is absolutely no way that they can really do anything on me. So let's take a look at this how it actually looks. So he's ulting the Nautilus, he's walking up like a madman, not even respecting the Fizz, Echo Flash, Fizz ultimate, and everything that can go on him. He doesn't even care. He's like, as you can see right here, he's frontline, but because he knows that right now he can just flash out, what can they do to him? What can they do to him? So he basically forced the fight. He engaged in a fight. Of course, you gotta be very careful because this can backfire you if you're like frontline and you don't know really well your limits and you don't know really well what is able to kill you. Because right now he knew that if he does this, the Fizz E and the Echo is like kind of useless if he has flash, right? Of course, if you play against something like Malzahar and you might get flash ulted, you shouldn't do that. So let's take a look at this. Look at this. Look at the Doublelift. He's getting ulted by Nautilus. He backs off. And then right now, when he walks up without even caring about, you know, Fizz and all of these things, at first he was positioning himself normally, but then when he ults, he's like, hey, I'm gonna ulti Nautilus, and then I'm gonna walk up, and right now, check what he does right here. Like, he doesn't really have so much peel. He lets the Echo uses his E, he lets the Fizz uses his E, and then he flash out. What can Echo do, and what can Fizz do? They used everything. So what can you do as an AD carry is you can stay really forward in the fight, let the enemy team to come into you, and immediately just flash out, so you can make sure they are already engaged and your team is gonna win the fight. Of course, be very careful because in League of Legends there are a lot of champions that can only go in, like Nautilus, Galio, Leona. There is no way out for them. But if you play against someone that can go in, go out, or play against someone that even by dodging Fizz E, you get anyways one shot by his Q, you should not play with this playstyle. So be very careful because this playstyle can backfire you, but if used correctly, you're gonna see a lot of things. Ruler using this a lot, or other pro players dedicated using this a lot, especially in solo queue, but also in pro play. And as I said, this can backfire. So look at me right now playing solo queue, trying to use this trick. I'm actually Eing in to do more damage because I want us to engage. We don't really have so much engage. We do have Darius engage. Talon is okay with engage. Verel kind of has to have flash for a really good engage. So what I'm doing here is that I'm trying to use my E, and I'm trying to play forward to bait the enemy team to come into me. I know that Nocturne only goes in, so if he jumps on me and I flash out and my teammates are around, I always win this. Unfortunately, I wasn't really executing it well. My teammates weren't entirely around me. We can see that the enemy team jumped. Talon wasn't really in position. Aurelian Sol didn't TP instantly, of course, because of the Nocturne ulti. So it was my mistake. So this can backfire a lot. We still won the fight and we actually potentially get better Nashor after, so it could still be a good fight. I don't recommend this playstyle unless you really know what's going on, unless you know exactly what can kill you and you're doing it smart, like you're Eing in aggressively. Let's say there is an Alistar, you flash his combo, there is no way out for him, you kill him, you win the fight, and it's clean. This playstyle is high risk, high reward, because you can also engage in a team fight, especially in a solo queue environment where no one picks a tank, no one picks an engage, and no one really gives too much attention on you and on the AD carry. So you can try this playstyle and try to test your limits. Another important ability is the ability to play around your own range inside of the tower. This is super underrated, and many players, especially below master tier, don't have this skill. So let's see what Gumasushi is doing in this particular case. So he's pushing and he's actually playing against Kalista. Both supports are mid lane, so there is absolutely no threat. Junglers are mid lane or dead. So look how he's actually walking up. He's walking up and he's looking at the Kalista. He's pressuring even though he's hitting the tower. Kalista knows that she can't walk up. So what Gumasushi does is auto-attacking, and what I love here is how clean he plays around the tower range. Another player will not like really know how to play around this tower range like Gumasushi, and he will either play over aggressively or simply just try to kite it super far. So just check this out, how clean he is really. So he's going in, he's hitting, and he's trying to kite. He knows exactly the tower range, and this takes practice, guys. This you have to be in a practice tool, and you have to put a dummy here and just have to make a practice. But this is a really important skill. Just look at Gumasushi, how he plays. He didn't take any tower shot. You should play Ashe and Caitlyn if you want to learn this skill. Maybe if you're a Lucian Sivir player or a player that plays Smolder, you're not going to be able to actually work on this skill properly unless you play something with long range. But this is a very important skill that you should aim to have, especially if you're looking to improve as an AD carry. Another thing that you can do as an AD carry and is very underrated is roaming on AD carry. This is super underrated skill as Tristana, Jean, or any other champion that is either having a dash or a long range can do. So right now we see that Tristana just pushed her wave and then immediately just turns towards mid lane. So easy peasy. Right now they have a number advantage and they're most likely going to win this fight. So she played a little bit too aggressive, and this didn't really actually work in this case. It was very close, but you can actually see how well she tried. This is a rank 1 Tristana challenger last season player, so you know, just a play that didn't work. But we can see that the pattern that she actually has in this case, she's just looking to go bot lane. She just took this wave and then she immediately moves mid lane as she's actually seeing a skirmish. Of course, usually you should just push the wave out just to make sure the enemy AD carry doesn't actually get plates. In this specific case, the reason why he went mid lane is of course because the fight is a reliable fight that he can attend to, because they're fighting right there if you actually watch the enemy map. Second of all, he plays a huge champion in the early game. She can jump, and she also has exhaust, which is huge in a fight, and it can be a deal maker. And third of all, he knows that Smolder doesn't really have enough wave clear to push this wave. Yes, usually you should push the wave, especially if you play against Caitlyn, Sivir, or a champion that can push the wave very easy. So then when you go mid lane, he's gonna make you lose. But in this specific case, with this specific champion, with Tristana, it actually works really well, and this is what you should do as well. If you know you're not gonna lose too much bot lane, look to actually have her place mid lane. Okay, for sure, maybe not on champions like that are very slow in the early game or weak like Aphelios, but if you play Twitch, if you play Tristana, if you play champions that can do that, then obviously take a look at your wave, make sure you don't lose too much, and if it's a reliable fight, you can always choose to roam, especially on Jean, Bard, or any other champs like that. Same thing we can see at this challenger that he actually played against Nikki in this particular game. So what he does is the following thing. He's actually staying in the lane phase. What he does is like he's pushing the wave, and he knows that he doesn't really have too much gold right now, and what he does is the following. Okay, please make sure you cut the last 5 seconds, okay, or like 10 seconds, whatever. This is the play. So right here we can see this player playing against Nikki in challenger, right? So let's take a look what he does in this case. So he actually just pushes his wave, and guess what? After he is pushing his wave, he knows that the Smolder is actually recalled. So what he does, he actually goes towards mid lane. He knows that he's playing Jean, so his double the range is actually huge. He uses the Youmu's because he actually saw that Akshan is potentially in danger right here. So he actually went and hovered the mid lane. Of course, that this play would have been really much better if, you know, a fight was going on already there. But he's here with the W, with the ulti, and he's not really losing too much on bot lane. He was looking to hover, he was looking to go mid lane. Of course, right now he has to come bot lane because Smolder is pushing, unless there is a reliable fight that he can get a kill here. So he could consider just giving up some minions bot lane, but this wasn't happening. The fight wasn't happening. It wasn't reliable, and he knew that he can't really get a reliable kill. So he just returned to bot lane without losing. I think he lost 1 minion, but of course it was a very low risk. He didn't really lose much. 1 minion, 15 gold, 14 gold, 20 gold. That's pretty low, right? And the reward was like, okay, I'm there. So if we catch someone, I double you and we just kill him. So this is what you should do as well as an AD carry, if you are able to, and the wave actually allows you to do so, and your champion allows you to do so. Another very important thing and tactic that you can do is actually ping your support by using emotes as well. So for example, here, if I don't want to push, I just try to ping 2 times, and then I'm just going to make sure I ping him with an emote. Of course, this is a bot, so he still keep pushing, but what is going to happen in a normal game, if he's going to push like a psycho, if you if you ping him that you shouldn't actually push, you ping him like 2 times, usually they will actually stop auto-attacking. Sometimes there are cases where the support doesn't listen anyways, but in general, they tend to listen. And then the problem is that they're actually going to think, oh shit, why is this guy pinging me? I'm trying to push, what I'm doing is right. But then if you're hitting him with an emote, it actually can make things a lot better. And every time when you recall, you actually show him an emote, he's actually gonna feel happier and happier and happier. And it actually kind of adds a sense of funny to the game, a sense of like, come on man, it's just a game, let's just have fun. So this actually found it very helpful, and it actually it's gonna help you to tilt your teammates a little bit less, because of course there are many situations in the game where your support does something stupid, or simply like he dies and you just give him an emote or stuff. It can make things better rather than just typing in the chat, you are bad, or you know. So try to use more emotes, guys, in solo queue as an AD, especially because you're such a reliant role. It's gonna really help you out. Thank you so much guys for watching, and hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you liked it. Please comment in the comments if you liked it. If you didn't like it, what else you want to see next. Thanks so much for watching, and hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye.
$5. If you have problems improving and getting better in the game faster but cannot afford booking coaching, on my Patreon you can access more than 627 VOD reviews, premium videos about how to wave management, mid-game macro, and tier lists that will show you the best champions to climb and to improve for your elo. And these are not on YouTube, this is only on Patreon, they're exclusive. Moreover, you can participate in the free coaching waiting list to get a premium VOD review. I'm giving away 2 free VOD reviews every single week. All what you need to do is simple 2-step process. Subscribe to my Patreon and share your OPGG, and voila, you are on the waiting list. You're gonna get a personalized VOD review for any game in your match history. For just $5, you get not only the free VOD review, but a whole bunch of exclusive benefits that will supercharge your gaming experience. It's a small investment for a big return. And it's just $5, it's no brainer, right? But here is the deal, you've got to act quickly. The waiting list is already filling up fast. 55 people already subscribed to the Patreon, and there are 6 people that they already are on board, they are on the waiting list. And more are joining every moment. Now, do you want to secure your spot for a free VOD review? Go ahead on my Patreon and reserve it right now.